finding getting customers and clients right now? Are you finding that you're struggling? Are you kind of having that question in your mind about how am I meant to get more customers if no one's got any money right now and no one is spending? How does that help me grow my business? So if you've had those thoughts, whether it's over the last year or just more recently, but if those kind of questions and thoughts have been going through your mind and you are hitting a bit of a roadblock and you're coming to a bit of a standstill and you're like, I've got to try and build my business, but what do I do if people aren't buying right now? Then I'm going to share some insights with you today to help you to be able to see some possible gaps that you might have, and also some opportunities of things that you might be able to do in order to turn things around and kind of get yourself unstuck. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Jenny Stevens. In case we're meeting for the first time, this is my weekly show called the Brilliantly You Business Show. I would have loved to have fit Brilliantly You on this, but I didn't have enough letters, so it had to be BU Business instead. But I'm all about helping you, home business entrepreneurs, helping you to be able to build your business online. So I teach marketing strategies and kind of using social media and automation, leveraging your time, and really helping you to have the confidence so you can be truly authentic and build your business being brilliantly you, knowing that you are enough exactly as you are, helping you to make more sales and impact without the self-doubt. So I deal with marketing as well as I'm a qualified rapid transformational therapist. So I help a lot of that hidden blocks and helping you to really kind of discover where some of those core beliefs that you have about yourself and you might be saying to yourself come from, and helping to heal those. So you've got a nice mixture of marketing and mindset with me today. So do chime in if you're here live with me. Pop in the chat, comment who's here, where you're watching from, so I can say hello. And then we'll get started. So I can see we've got Eric. Hello, Eric. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching the replay, you can just pop in #replay in the comments, and I'll make sure that I come back to all of your lovely comments and reply to them as soon as I can. I'm just checking that this is going into my group. Let me just check. Don't know if it is. So we're live on Facebook as well as YouTube. So depending on what your preferred thing is, platform, then I go live. I stream it to both places. Okay, so let's kind of dive into today's topic. Hello, Susanna. Welcome. Nice to see you. Nice little wavy. Hello. I'm going to wave at you. I'm feeling quite glam today because I've actually made a bit of an effort. I just felt like I haven't worn makeup for about, I don't know, feels like months. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my hair a little bit. I attempted to curl it. I put a little bit of makeup on, so I'm feeling a bit glam today. So I'm making the most of it. I thought, you know what, today's the best day because I get to come and do this training for you, and I'm part of a workshop later, which is cool. So, okay, so yes, we're talking about getting customers kind of during this weird time when people are maybe not spending money or they have no money to spend. And so I'm just curious initially. So just put a 1 in the comments if you feel like people either don't have any money to spend because of the current times, or they're not spending it. So do you feel like it's a harder kind of slog right now to sell your products or services? Just put a 1 in the comments below if you agree with that, if you think that's accurate. Just kind of curious to see your thoughts. So join in, share that with me. Or if you don't, just put a 2, okay? So just kind of let me know where you are with this topic, just so I can get a feel for like I say, your kind of current thought process around this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about with this, because at the end of the day, businesses still have to run, okay? And so I'm seeing actually a lot of people having great success. Some people have some of their best years and best times right now. Depends on obviously what you offer, but because if you're kind of helping other business owners, then, more people are coming online. If maybe they were kind of offline before, more people are looking for opportunities to work from home, and doing maybe their own kind of thing, just trying to boost their income. So there's so many different things right now. But the first thing that I want to talk about today is, if you have that thought that no one's spending any money, or no one's got any money that they're willing to spend, then the first thing I want to just share with you is, I want you to just check your own mindset first, okay? So what I mean by this is that it starts a little bit with you, okay? Now, because I've learned so much about how the mind works, and I deal with clients all the time who have blocks. They have money blocks. They self-sabotage themselves and their businesses. There's so much that goes on from here that I want to just kind of start off by talking a little bit about your own mindset. Okay. And the reason being is that if you are saying to yourself, this is really hard, no one's buying right now, no one's got any money, no one's spending their money, it's just really difficult to get customers, like they're just drying up, what do I do? If your thoughts and your self-talk is along those lines, if you're thinking no one's buying, then you could be causing a bit of a blockage for yourself, okay? So the first thing I want you to think about is your own mindset, okay? So I want you to think about the fact that at the end of the day, people are still working in jobs. There's still plenty of people that are willing to invest in themselves. There's still plenty of people who are buying stuff. They're still investing in courses. They're still buying products. So those people are out there. So if you are struggling right now with this notion, if you're kind of telling yourself that no one is buying, then it's going to kind of do a couple of things. Firstly, it's going to be, well, okay, you might be causing that. You might kind of be repelling people without even realizing kind of the energy that you put out. You might actually be pushing people away kind of subconsciously, without, you're not saying, hey, stay away, but your thoughts are so incredibly powerful. Okay, so that's just, it could be, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it might be that this is just your perception. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true that no one's got any money not spending. So this might just be your perception, to say it's something that you might need to deal with. Yes, there are people that are losing their jobs. They're having redundancy. Certainly people are probably they're more mindful about spending. So there is certainly some truth to it, but a small thing, because I know, I'm certainly a little bit more, I take a little bit longer to make decisions about spending larger amounts of money, because I'm like, well, I want to protect the savings pot, just in case my husband got COVID, or, got furloughed or whatever, and he's been going to work pretty much this whole time. But then he hurt his back back end of last year, excuse the pun, and he was off work for 4 weeks, unpaid. And we were like, crap, so that kind of, we had to dip into our savings then. And so people are definitely a little bit more cautious about what they're spending, but it doesn't mean that they're not willing to spend, okay? So first off, kind of think about, start paying attention of your own thoughts. What are you saying to yourself or externally? Are you talking to friends, business friends, like peers, whatever? What are you saying out loud as well as internally about people's spending habits right now? Because at the end of the day, people, like I say, people are still spending. They are still, if things are important enough, they will spend the money. I'm going to come on to that a little bit more in a sec. So your mind is going to, it's so powerful, the thoughts that you think. So just kind of have a little check-in with yourself. Start noticing that inner chat that you've got in your mind and start interrupting it and flipping it, okay? Start switching that, any language that's like no one's buying, people don't have any money, switch it to, you know, my products are awesome kind of thing, and it's really easy for me to get customers. People are happy and willing to invest in my products or services. Getting new customers and clients is really easy and effortless. Like, start switching the script, flip the script. So it's turning it from kind of negative to positive. And it's gonna, not only it's gonna make you feel better, excuse me, but also, you know, a bit of woo-woo stuff, like the energy that it puts out, you know, it just kind of, it goes out there. Because the problem is if you're in this no one's buying kind of thing, you can then sometimes come across unintentionally, you know, as being a little bit desperate when you are trying to make sales, when you are trying to, you know, you might be having conversations with people to try and, you know, get a sale. And so that desperation can come out sometimes, okay? So start by thinking about that you are attracting the right people. Otherwise, you might be attracting the people that have no money and they aren't willing to invest. So the more you can think about, yeah, I am attracting my perfect client, my perfect customer, then, you know, that energy, and that's what you're going to bring to you, okay? So that's the first thing. And obviously you can say any other things that you want, any other like affirmations or things that you like to say that resonate with you. You can also change any language. It's more powerful when it's more your wording. So, you know, play about with things, but just have a little check-in with yourself and go, how are my thoughts right now about this? Okay. So the second thing then, in terms of like, okay, well, how might I be able to get customers if no one's spending any money right now? Okay, so first off, we're going to be checking the mindset. The second thing is I want you to really, again, take a close look at what you are offering. And again, this is going to differ depending on what you do, what you sell, what you might offer as a service. But something that I learned from a mentor of mine, you know, she talked quite a lot about this last year when all of this crap kicked off, was, is your offer solving a real problem that people are dealing with right now? Okay, because there might be a lot is different. You know, there's some things that are fairly similar. So it's just as, again, it's another check-in, it's another question to get curious about. If you are in the kind of business to business, you know, like helping other business owners, a bit like I am, it's thinking about, well, what might be different to what I normally offer, to what people really need right now. Like, I know that people really need help with their mindset. I'm getting, you know, people asking me about my RTT hypnotherapy stuff in terms of a bit about anxiety. There's a lot of people that are dealing with, you know, mental health issues. If they are worried about money, you know, building their business, you know, being stuck in and not having much connection, or they might be new to coming online. Like, there's so many different things. So I want you to just, again, have a little sense check. With life looking a little different, is your offer still relevant to right now? Is it what people really need? Okay. And let me know if you think yours is. Okay. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's just, it's a question. Get curious. Because if you're coming across this blocker, these are just some questions and things for you to check in with yourself and get curious about finding out. If you're finding that actually maybe your offer isn't maybe that relevant with what people are wanting right now, then what might you be able to create? Or what might you be able to offer? So if you offer network marketing products, direct sales, affiliate stuff, and you don't create your own kind of courses or services or anything, that's totally cool. So what might you be able to add in that you can offer as an affiliate or something? What might you be able to do? The main thing to think about is, how can you solve a problem? Okay, does your product solve a problem with people that they are dealing with now? Okay, what are people, so again, it might be worth you looking, if doing a bit of research, looking on Facebook, in Facebook groups, seeing what your friends, your Facebook friends, see what your network of people are sharing. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of, health issues. God, so say money things, there's so many different things. So just hone in on how does your thing that you sell, is that solving a main problem that people are dealing with right now that they can control? Obviously, we can't control, the virus and any of that kind of stuff, but there's things that you can control and say. So if not, what might you be able to create? So if you are kind of at that point in your business that you do create your own things, can you maybe create a new program or add in an additional like bonus module that kind of can deal with some of that stuff? Is there something new? Do you need to make a bit of a shift? Like I'm certainly pivoting a bit more to doing more live stuff with people. I love automation and kind of passive things, but I'm really craving that, that connection with people, because I don't get to see anyone. We are in almost a full lockdown in England, and we have been since pretty much since November. We had a tiny break for Christmas, but so I've not seen any of my family except my mum since October. I haven't seen my friends since October. So, I'm really craving that human connection, and a lot of other people are. So I'm looking at, well, do you know what? I want to run my programs. I want to create new courses and do it live, rather than the kind of usual thing where I normally tend to do them live for the first time anyway, and then turn them into kind of an evergreen thing that is, that then people can just go through it as they want. But I'm like, actually, do you know what? I really want to do it live. So again, ask yourself that question. What might you be able to create or offer, or just do something a bit different that can really help people right now? Okay. And like I say, the other thing is that at the end of the day, even if people are struggling financially right now, if they want it enough, they will find a way. I've actually, just in the last week, I have had 3 people reach out to me wanting some help. One lady that I know, she reached out to me. She's like, I've saved up the money. I want to have a session with you. This is my transformational therapy. So she's obviously been watching, and she's been saving up so she can have a session with me and go through my 4-week program to help her. So people are willing to spend the money if they want it enough. And so that's where really focusing on the point I just mentioned about really making sure you're solving a problem. As long as that's your main intention, that's the thing, people will find a way. Okay. And the other thing that you can do as well is look at, how can you make it easier for people? How might you be able to make it easier? So some of the things that I'm seeing people doing, and I'm sort of doing as well, longer payment plans, So again, if people's income has reduced because they've had to reduce their hours because they're doing homeschooling as well as trying to work their job or run their business, maybe do longer payment plans, maybe smaller packages even. Maybe you go, do you know what? Maybe they can't do this big course that I have, or get the big thing that kind of solves everything. Maybe you could create a smaller version that can help them enough. Group work, maybe rather than one-to-ones. If you're more of getting clients and do a lot of one-to-one work, one-to-ones is obviously more expensive than maybe some kind of group work. So with group stuff, not only do you get to serve more people in a short amount of time, so it's great for leveraging your time as well, but also you can then make it more affordable. So those are just a few different options of things that you can do in terms of even helping people have some kind of options in your back pocket. You don't even necessarily need to say, hey, I've got this longer payment plan, but it can be there maybe for those people that are like, do you know what, I really want to do this thing. I really want to buy your program. I really want to have your service. I really want to buy your products, but I just can't come up with that money like up front. Is there anything that you can do? You can say, well, actually, do you know what? I do have this option for you where you can spread it out over 3 months, 6 months, even 10 months if it's like a bigger program kind of thing. So that's to say, at the end of the day, whether people have money or not, I've invested thousands and thousands of pounds over the years, especially a few years ago when I was really like big in investing in mentoring and my education. I didn't have the money, but I found a way. I put it on credit cards. Luckily, I was able to pay for some of it through commissions that I earned. I kind of had to, I didn't see it necessarily as a debt. It was an investment. You know, I didn't go to university. So I'm like, you know what? This is my time to invest in myself, to get educated. So I know I can be the best version of me. I can know how to market online. I can know how to step up and be a leader and do all the cool things that I want to do. So people will look at that as well. If they want it bad enough, they will find a way. All right. Okay, now a big one. Okay, this is like what another big one that we're talking about today. Just in case you are kind of new, and you're just kind of joining us, we're talking about how do you get more customers and clients if people aren't spending money right now. So I've covered a few of the things, some check-ins, some things for you to get curious about and ask yourself and just start paying attention. Now, this is a really big one. So this is a little bit more kind of tactical and things that you can, if you do the other things and go, yeah, that's all in check, then this next one could be the thing that might be in the way. And it's all about positioning. Okay? So how are you positioning your products and service? Positioning, and let me know, like, are you clear? What do you think about when you think about positioning? Let me know in the comments. What do you think about with that term, positioning? What comes to mind for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So just pop those, pop that in the comments. There's a bit of a delay, so I might just kind of, I will just kind of carry on, and obviously I'll come back to your comments, and then there's a bit of a delay in terms of the software that I'm using with Facebook. So I want you to think about how you are positioning your products or services. And positioning really, it can be the difference between like attracting high-end people or your budget savers. Like think about clothes shops you go to. Some, like here in the UK, will have something like Marks and Spencer's that's kind of known a bit more for like older people, but it's good quality, and it's kind of the place that you'd go. Like when I was a kid, that was where you might go for like your school uniform sort of thing. Or blokes might go there for their suit that's not too expensive. But it's sort of the place where like my mum shops, and I get a couple of things from there. So it's positioned as kind of like good quality, sort of wholesome, but also for the more mature person. But then you've got things like Primark. I don't know whether you're familiar with Primark, but Primark is like cheap as chips shop that you can go and buy a top for like £3. It's not great quality. They have some awesome stuff, but you might pay 3 times the price in Marks and Spencer's because it's better quality, or you might just need to buy the same top 3 times because it might break, kind of thing. But it's cheap, it's affordable, not the best quality material, but it is what it is. People know it's positioned as affordable. Obviously a lot of young people shop there. Especially if they like shopping, so it's how it's positioned. Going to like a restaurant, going to McDonald's, it's positioned, it's fast, it's easy, it's probably full of, it's yummy, isn't it? It's yummy, but it's probably full of a lot of crap, and it's something that we shouldn't eat every day. Versus going to a nice posh restaurant. Again, you're going to spend a lot more money. You might even have a smaller portion, hey, but it's going to be really fucking good food. So it's all about positioning. If you know that certain Brand, this is the thing about branding. Like brands, especially when it comes to like retail, how brands are positioned is massive. So I want you to think about, how are you positioning your products or services or opportunity? How is it positioned? Are you positioning it where you're actually kind of like what I said earlier, you're sort of attracting the people with no money? Is that what you actually want? Or do you want to attract people that maybe have a decent job? They've got they're actually bringing in some income. They've got a bit of spare money that they can invest. Do you want to attract people that are, I don't even know, like, just think about the types of people, and this comes back to some of the fundamental things you need to do when you're running a business and marketing, is knowing who your target market is. But I'm talking about who is and this was a bit of a shift that I learned about last year. Rather just thinking about kind of like your ideal prospect, I want you to think about your ideal paying customer. Okay, so not some people who, I've had people that they're like, I offer can I sell a $27 ebook for mentors of mine? It's kind of how I started learning all about attraction marketing and stuff. The people that are like, oh, I just can't afford that. I'm like, do you know what? That's fine. You're not really my people. It's not being snobby. It's like, I want people who are willing to do what it takes, but they need to invest in themselves if they want to learn, really get the help to do what they need to do. There is going to come, you can't get that much. You can get so much for free. There's going to come a point where you've got to say enough is enough. I want to shorten the time frame. I can't do it on my own. I need help. And so you want to be able to attract the people that are willing to do that, rather than the people that have no money. And they're like, they don't see the need to get coaching or to get help or to pay anything above. If you're selling physical products, again, it's like, if people want to pay high street prices, that's fine. They can go and do that. They might not be your ideal customers. Are you wanting customers they're wanting higher quality products that might last more, that might be better for them? So all these different things comes to positioning. Okay, so again, it's another thing to check. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go through maybe some of your last posts, or if you have a website, have a look at your website and even maybe you could get some friends or family or something to go, do you know what, can you go and have a look at this? How does this feel like it's positioned to you? Or what do you take from it? Okay, so that's a thing to kind of look about in terms of how are you positioning things. And again, you might need to make a bit of a shift. Are you really connecting to that problem that people are facing? So this comes down to messaging. Are you really honing in on that problem? Are you painting a picture? This is what marketing is all about. It's about painting that picture that people are in beforehand. If people are struggling, if they're suffering with something, you can paint that picture, describe it. Most of us, we are our previous kind of ideal customers, if you like. So use your own experiences. And then it's then painting a picture of what life can be like when they've got that solution. So look at your messaging, look at your social media posts, look at your website if you have one, look at your different pages. Look at what you are saying, how you're saying it, maybe in your videos. And are you really connecting to the problems? Are you adding any urgency to any of your stuff, any of your marketing? What should make them want to go, now's the time, rather than tomorrow? Because we all know that tomorrow never comes. If tomorrow, for like singing Ronan Keating, if tomorrow never comes. So how might you be able to make it now? Okay, so think about how can you add some urgency. And a great question to ask people is, what happens if you do nothing? And that's a really good question to kind of like say it and pause and be like, what is it? Like, What if you do nothing? What if you don't get help with this problem, whatever it is that you promote? You know, like, what is it that you do? If somebody doesn't do anything and they just stay doing the exact same thing, what then? What does that look like? And that's where you can help get people to go, oh my God, yeah, I can't. You know, it's the kind of like, if people carry on and they're going to end up like morbidly obese, or you know, being seriously ill from burnout if they don't get some help in their business and they're just working like a dog. You know, so have a think about that. That's a great question to ask, is what happens if you do nothing? That's a good one. It is. And I say, check your messaging. How might you be able to go a level deeper? How might you be able to go from here to here in terms of connecting with people, resonating with people, really talking about what people are dealing with? Okay, so that's my little challenge to you. Okay, so just kind of as we wrap up then, so the things that you can do then, once you've gone through those things, and I'm going to put together all of these things in my usual show notes that I do every single week. So if you would like to get the show notes of everything that I'm covering today, as well as any resources that might be relevant for you, just comment in show notes below in this video, and then you will get a message from me, and then I can send those to you when they're ready in the next couple of days. Okay, so I'm going to be like listing all of this out again. Maybe if you don't want to have to go back and watch a whole video again, so just comment in show notes and I'll get those sent out to you as soon as they're ready. Okay, so yeah, if you want to be able to kind of refer back to this and go back through everything that I've talked about today. So say, once you've gone through those questions, those check-ins, those, you know, look at what you've got out there, then you reassess and make any changes. Okay, so you can ask yourself, okay, what, even if it's like, what might be one thing that I could do differently, or that I might change and try out? Just start with one thing and start there. Okay, so a few little things that you can do right from the heart. Okay, really think about those pains and problems and frustrations, how people really feel with whatever it is they're dealing with right now that connects with what you provide as a solution, your products, your services. What does it solve? And really look at that before state. What do people really feel like? And describe it. Okay, so right from the heart, tell stories. Stories is such a great way to sell authentically, and people love stories. So tell stories. They can be yours, they can be other people's, you know, and then you can share the testimonials of those people if they have got results from, you know, having your product or going through your program or having your service that you do, having that one-to-one with you, whatever it is. Share testimonials. People love to see proof of what they might be considering buying. Stay in front of people. Keep showing up for your audience. Always remind yourself, if you're like, oh, I just can't be bothered to do my Facebook Live today, just think about that one person that really needs to hear from you that day. I love it when I get messages or comments from people that are like, oh, I needed this today. It just makes me smile and it makes everything just so worthwhile. I love it. So stay in front of them. You say that I've had more inquiries just in the last 2 weeks, even just a week, because I'm considered, you know, I've been way more consistent this year. You know, I did a lot of work last year internally on my own self-belief and my own blocks and my own mindset and stuff. And then I recommitted to myself. I was like, right, I'm going to do a brand new weekly show that I'm doing no matter what. I've set my non-negotiables again and it feels great. And so I'm already starting to see the results of that. And it's only been, what, 6 weeks? They're seeing me more and they're like reaching out saying, oh, that thing that you mentioned, I'm really interested to know about, you know, what it is that you do. And so that's the thing. You just need to keep showing up in front of people, keep being in front of them. And finally, make it easy for them. How might you be able to make it easy for them? Like I say, if it's looking at things financially, but also make it easy for people to buy. Give them the link to what it is to buy. Tell them what to do if they need to message you, if you need to have a call with someone to see if they're a fit. Say, here's how you book a call with me. Make it really easy for people. Don't make them have to work for it and do too many steps, or you might just lose them. So make it really easy for them. So whatever it is that you might need to do, say, just reassess and make any changes. And even if you just start with making one thing and just ask yourself, what might be one thing that I can do right now that I can try out and see if it changes. Okay? Okay, cool. So let's just see some of these comments. Like I say, and again, if you want to get the summary of all of this, the show notes, just comment in show notes, and I'll make sure I send that to you. And if you kind of want a bit more help to kind of dive a bit deeper with this in terms of helping to get you unstuck, then I'm going to be putting my prices up very soon. I'm keeping them where they are. They've been this price for like 2-3 years now, and so I'm going to be putting them up. But I offer a Get Unstuck coaching session. It's a 1-hour session, kind of like a power hour coaching session. So if you want to be able to kind of dive into your specific business, and we can work on your messaging, we can work on your marketing, we can take a look, even if it is your mindset stuff, and we can kind of dive into your business and look at what things you might be able to try out and tweak to help get a bit of momentum, then you can book in a call with me, okay? So to make it super easy for you, because you know what I said, make it easy for people, here there should be a link going into the comments. Hopefully that's going to come up now, but you go to jennystevenscoaching.com/power-hour, I think it is. Hopefully the link will be going, hold on, let me do that. Let's just do that and see if that then goes into the comments. Excuse the picture. It's £97. It's going to be going up to 150 literally next week. There we go. The comment has gone in the chat now. So if you would like to have a power hour coaching with me, we're really focused on helping getting you unstuck. We can work on your business, you know, specifically. I can offer you any recommendations. You can get kind of reviews and stuff. Go to that link, check it out. You can make the payment, and then you get a form to fill in, so then I can see what it is you're wanting help with. So I can just say, I can help you to get unstuck and work with you personally, one-on-one, for an awesome power hour. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm offering to you. Say these can be limited depending on how many people book them. And say prices are going to be going up next week. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to offer this now today for the next few days, just so you can go and grab that, because I'm keeping it affordable right now, but I'm going to be putting the prices up next week. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of these questions then that came in. So let's see. So Frankie says, do you have tips on how to get over shyness when doing lives, as that's where I struggle in my health beauty business? Yeah, good question, Frankie. So, I mean, this is a really common thing. People, you know, just trying to get over that. It comes from confidence, you know. So it's probably, you just maybe don't, and this is a question for you. I'm not putting words into your mouth, but do you feel confident about what you're talking about? The content, you know, if I was to be saying, hey, Frankie, tell me about your products. How does your health and beauty business actually help people? What is it that it really helps with? Could you just like talk about your stuff for hours? So that's just like a question for you, because a lot of the time that procrastination around showing up, and this is a little bit, even though I'm more than comfortable doing videos, I can talk for England when I'm doing videos and doing trainings and stuff like that. But what I noticed was that if I didn't have the clarity on what I was talking about and the intention behind it, like if I didn't have kind of like the bigger goal, like what am I aiming for? I found it more difficult to show up. And now I've got very clear goals again. You know, I've added an intention, a bigger intention behind it, so I feel more connected to it, and it makes it so much easier to show up. So I guess my kind of tip for you is, firstly, challenge yourself to get curious about what is it that you're actually stopping going live. Is it that you're just like, oh, I just hate the way I sound, or I hate the way I look, or who's going to listen to me? Or is it you don't feel confident enough in in talking about the problems that you solve or the solution that you have? Whatever the answer is, then ask yourself, what might be one thing that I could do to help that? Do you need to maybe go through some training again, take some notes? I've got notes for my Facebook Live. This software that I use called Be Live, you can have like a little agenda in there, which is cool. So it kind of keeps me on point rather than me looking. I've got two screens, but rather than me kind of looking here at my notes, I can kind of see them right there. So I do that to kind of make sure that I cover what I need to, and so I don't go too off on a tangent, which can sometimes happen if I'm kind of too unfiltered. I'm very I'm me. And that's the other thing as well, is just be you. Don't worry about being perfect. People don't care about perfection. And done is better than perfect. You don't have to worry about, I never wear makeup. Today is a rarity that I put a bit of makeup on. I attempted to curl my hair. It didn't work very well. Normally I'm no makeup, messy bun. I don't really care anymore about what I look like, because that doesn't really matter. I'm here to give value and help people and share a message and give some tips and all the knowledge that I've gathered over the last 6 years. And even if I can just help one person that day, I'm happy. So think about that for yourself, okay? And keep it simple. You don't have to do a long live like this is. Even if you just go live for 5 or 10 minutes, just start. The more you do, the more confident you will get in yourself, in kind of doing videos. And like I say, and give yourself an outline. What kind of problem are you gonna talk about? Today I'm talking about people getting customers that they think that people aren't spending any money. And I'm just kind of talking a bit about the realities and some of that stuff. So pick something in the beauty. Like, are people dealing with skin, like having to wear masks? Who's dealt with skin issues from having to wear masks all the time? You could kind of then give some tips around helping that. So pick some topics, plan it out, give yourself some bullets to kind of as your outline, and just show up and be you, be yourself. Don't try to be anyone else, and trust yourself as well. And like I say, the more you do, the easier it will be, and the more confident you'll feel. I certainly wasn't like this. I mean, I started out selling makeup in direct sales, and so I was doing videos very early on. But when I look back at those early ones, I mean, they're awful. I certainly didn't have, like, good. Obviously, this is just daylight, but I'd have a little lamp, and just the lighting was awful. But it didn't matter. I was just creating content. So I hope that helps, Frankie. Good question, though. Let's see. So Eric says, I need more urgency. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so have a look at how you might be able to create some more urgency then in your marketing that you can create for people. Why should they buy now versus next week? Then yeah, that's a really good one. So cool. I'm glad that's a takeaway you have got. Susanna says, exactly, I'm myself, the ideal client. Yeah, whenever you're doing that work in terms of looking at doing that research of who is your ideal customer or ideal prospect or ideal client, or if you're creating like an avatar, it's usually us before we found our solution that we might now sell or offer. So it's just an earlier version of you for the most part. We tend to all start our businesses or offer certain things because we've gone through our own journey. So, think about where you were before and really dive into that. And again, kind of look at what people are saying online and use their words and use phrases that they use in your stuff. So awesome, cool. Well, I'm glad that you've all got takeaways. Like I say, if any of you would like to get the show notes of this, where I'm going to put all of this in a summary written version as well as a copy of the video as well, so you can easily refer back to it. Plus, I actually have a file in my group with all of the past shows that you can get access to as well, if you want to be able to go through any that you might not have seen before, just comment in show notes and you'll get a message from my special little messenger bot called Bertie, where I will then just get your details and then I can send that to you. It normally takes me a couple of days just to get everything published and whatnot, and then I can get that sent to you as well. Okay, and then finally, like I say, if you do want some help, if you would like to get a bit deeper help with anything that you're working on right now, getting you unstuck, then you can utilize one of my Getting Unstuck coaching sessions. It's like a power hour, so we'll just work together for an hour and we can just dive into whatever you're needing help with right now, and that's to help you leaving that time with clarity, with an action plan, and you know exactly what you're going to be doing to help you really make, continue making progress and get you unstuck with anything that you might be struggling with right now. So there's a link to that in the comments that you can go and grab. So that's what I wanted to share today. I hope you found this valuable. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all the likes and loves and shares. If you do think anyone that you know might find this valuable, feel free to comment their name, tag them in it, share it with them. Very much appreciated. And yeah, go and smash it. Try out one of these things that you've learned from today. And I'd love to hear from you with what you find, anything that you kind of identify yourself, and then maybe even like actually putting it into action with what happens. I love kind of hearing how you get to put things into action. So do please feel free to pop in my messenger, in my DMs, and share that with me. I always love hearing from you. So alrighty, cool. Well, thanks so much. Have an amazing rest of your day and rest of your week, and I will be back next Thursday for another brilliantly you business show. So have